हॅलो. गोंया खातीर दिले बलिदान आपल्या प्राणांचे, निर्भय जावन झुंजले सुपूत आमच्या गोंयचे. सत्याग्रह आनी आंदोलनां करीत गेले पोर्तुगीजांच्या मुखार लढो दिवपाक. आयचो हो दीस विसरूं नाकात तुमी त्या हुतात्म्यांक याद दवरपाक. A very good morning and a warm welcome to one and all. 19 December, one of the most significant days in the history of Goa, commemorates the liberation of Goa from the shadow of Portuguese rule. Today, we are gathered here to celebrate this day, to recognize and recall the sacrifices and the achievements of our great freedom fighters and of all those who have contributed to the freedom struggle. Let's remember and cherish the freedom that our ancestors struggled to gain for a long time. I request Dr. Vanita Patil ma'am to take the charge.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Now I request Master Amay Kinjawardkar to address the gathering.
नमस्कार। आज मैं जो आपके सामने कहानी बताने जा रहा हूँ, यह नए गोवा की कहानी है। मैं गुजरात से हवाई जहाज से वापस आ रहा था, पिछले साल की बात है, और वहाँ पर मेरे बगल में एक व्यक्ति बैठा था। और आप सभी को पता है कि एक बार जो बेल्ट बांधने के बाद आपको काफ़ी समय रहता है वहाँ पर, और मैं तो शांत बैठने वाला व्यक्ति हूँ नहीं, तो मैं उसके साथ बातचीत करने लगा। और मैंने उसको पूछा कि आप गोवा में क्या देखना चाहते हैं। मुझे पता चला कि वो पहली बार गोवा जा रहा है। तो मैंने उसको सवाल पूछा कि आप क्या जानते हो गोवा के बारे में। वो राजस्थान का व्यक्ति था, पुष्कर से आता था, और वो बताने लगा कि गोवा में काफ़ी सारी लड़कियां हैं। मैं तो हक्का बक्का रह गया, ये क्या बोल रहा है ये। मैंने उसको पूछा, राजस्थान में नहीं है लड़कियां? तो वो जोर जोर से हंसने लगा और शांत बैठा। मेरी उत्सुकता उसको शांत देखते हुए, तो मुझे और भी उसको प्रश्न पूछने थे। मैं उसको आगे प्रश्न पूछता रहा, और क्या तुम जानते हो गोवा के बारे में? तो वो मुझे बताने लगा कि वहां पर दारू बहुत सस्ती मिलती है। और एक ऐसा उसका वाक्य मेरे सर पर टकरा गया, और मुझे बोलने के लिए शब्द नहीं रहे, लेकिन मैं फिर भी हिम्मत करके उसको और भी कुछ सवाल पूछे मैंने। और वो बताने लगा कि गोवा में ड्रग्स बहुत मिलते हैं। मेरे पास शब्द नहीं बचे, लेकिन फिर भी मैंने उसको पूछा कि राजस्थान में नहीं मिलते हैं क्या? तो वो बताने लगा कि वहां पर गोवा में इंटरनेशनल क्वालिटी के मिलते। ये हंसने की बात नहीं है, ये एक बड़ा चिंता का विषय है। आज गोवा की प्रतिमा राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर कितनी मलिन हो चुकी है, ये इसका उदाहरण है। कई कवियों ने कितनी खूबसूरत शब्दों के साथ गोवा का वर्णन किया है। मनोहर राय सरदेसाई जी कहते हैं, भारत भूचा सिंधू तीरावर सुंदर माझा गोवा, चैतन्याचा मांगल्याचा इथेच माझा ठेवा. बाबा बोरकर कहते हैं, माझ्या गोव्याच्या भूमीत गड्या नारळ मधाचे, कड्या कपारी मधुना घट फुटती दुधाचे. महाभारत में भी गोवा का वर्णन है। स्कंद पुराण में सह्याद्री खंड में गोवा का वर्णन आता है। गोकर्णा उत्तरे भागे सप्त योजना विस्तृत, तत्र गोवापुरी नाम नगरी पापनाशिनी. गोकर्ण के उत्तर भाग में सप्त योजन विस्तृत आकारमान बताया गया है इस भूमि का, और यह भूमि ऐसी है, गोवापुरी नाम की एक नगरी है जो पापनाशिनी है, जहां पर जाकर आपके सारे पाप नष्ट हो जाते हैं। यह वर्णन पुराणों में गोवा का है। और आज ये बदलती प्रतिमा पूरे राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर हमारे लिए चिंता का विषय है। गोवा में कई लोगों ने अपना बलिदान दिया है इस दिवस को प्राप्त करने के लिए। यह मुक्ति दिन कई हुतात्माओं का फल है कि आज हम इतने मुक्ति से यहां पर सिर उठाकर जी रहे हैं। इन बलिदानों में कुछ ऐसे बलिदानी भी थे जो गोवा के नहीं थे, जो बाहर से आए हुए थे, और यहां पर आकर उन्होंने गोलियां खाई, और इसीलिए हम यह दिन आज देख रहे हैं। उनमें कुछ नाम है नित्यानंद सहा, अमिचंद गुप्ता, हिरवे गुरुजी, पन्नालाल यादव। इनमें से कोई भी गोवा का व्यक्ति नहीं है। ये बाहर से गोवा में आए और गोवा के लिए गोलियां खाई। उनका क्या रिश्ता है गोवा से? उन्होंने क्यों अपना बलिदान गोवा के लिए दिया? और आज उन्हीं के राज्यों में से जब लोग आते हैं यहाँ पर, तब हम उनको कई अपशब्दों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं उनके लिए। अगर कोई पूर्वोत्तर भाग से आता है तो उसको चीनी कहा जाता है, चाइनीज नेपाली कहा जाता है। अगर कोई व्यक्ति बिहार से है और कोई यहाँ कर्नाटक से है, उसको घाटी कहा जाता है, और काफी अपशब्दों का उनके लिए हम उपयोग करते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि यह कहीं पर गलत है, क्योंकि उन्हीं की प्रदेशों के लोग आए और यहाँ पर उन्होंने अपना बलिदान दिया। गोवा में जो क्रांति की मशाल जलाने वाले लोग थे, उनमें से सबसे पहला नाम आता है राम मनोहर लोहिया जी का। वो उत्तर प्रदेश से थे, और ऐसे कई नाम हैं जिनको हम यहाँ पर मैं बताने के लिए समय ज़्यादा नहीं है, इसीलिए मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ। और आप कई लोगों के मन में यह सवाल भी होगा कि मैं हिंदी भाषा का आज प्रयोग क्यों कर रहा हूँ, कि गोवा मुक्ति दिवस है। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि क्षेत्रीय स्वार्थों से भी ऊपर राष्ट्र की एकता है, और राष्ट्र की एकता को जोड़ने वाली भाषा हिंदी है, इसीलिए मैं हिंदी भाषा का इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ। भारत का एक अभिन्न हिस्सा गोवा है, और इस गोवा को अगर हमें एकजुट के साथ आगे अगर लेकर जाना है, तो यह आपकी जिम्मेवारी है, हमारी जिम्मेवारी है। और आप इस देश का युवा होने के नाते आपके कंधों पर बहुत बड़ा दायित्व है। इस मुक्ति दिवस को चलो आइए और हम व्यसनों से मुक्ति पाए, हम बुरे विचारों से मुक्ति पाए, हम मानसिक गुलामगिरी से मुक्ति पाए, तभी यह मुक्ति दिन सफल होगा, ऐसी मैं आशा करता हूँ। और मैं आप सभियों का आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूँ कि आप सभी ने शांति से मेरे विचारों को सुना। मैं साहिश सर तथा हमारे प्राचार्य महोदय जी का बहुत आभारी हूँ कि आपने मुझे यह मौका दिया, यह अवसर दिया जिसलिए मैं यहाँ पर आकर मेरे विचार यहाँ इस आपके सामने रख पाऊँ, और आशा करता हूँ कि हमारे राज्य को सुनहरा बनाने के लिए हम सब योगदान देंगे। और मैं आपको विनती करता हूँ कि मेरे पीछे कुछ घोषणाएं भी थे, जिससे उन क्रांतिकारी, तमाम क्रांतिकारी और बलिदानी जिन्होंने हमारे लिए इतना बड़ा त्याग किया है, उनके प्रति हम कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करें। भारत माता की, भारत माता की, वंदे वंदे, जय गोमंतक। ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं किया है आप कई लोगों ने, आप में से मुझे लगता है, जिन्होंने हमारे लिए सब कुछ न्यौछावर कर दिया, उनके लिए हम कुछ घोषणाएं नहीं दे सकते क्या? जय गोमंतक। नहीं नहीं नहीं, बहुत ही शांत स्वभाव के हमारे बच्चे। गोवा शांत राज्य ही रहा है, लेकिन आज मुक्ति दिवस है और यह क्रांति से प्राप्त हुआ है। इसीलिए क्रांति की ज्योत हमारे दिलों में जगाने के लिए, जलाने के लिए जोर से घोषणाएं, मैं आपसे आशा करता हूं कि इस बार बड़े जोर शोर के साथ घोषणाएं होगी। जय गोमंतक, जय गोमंतक, जय गोमंतक, जय गोमंतक। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Amay, for those wonderful words. I would like to request Dr. Namdev Ugawas sir to speak few words on this occasion.
First and foremost, I thank the head of the institution for giving this opportunity to express a few expressions and opinions of mine on this momentous day. I also congratulate and compliment the earlier speaker, Amay Kunjavadkar, for throwing light on Goa's freedom struggle. Goa, the land of sun, sea and sand, with its miles of golden and pristine beaches, crystal clear water, has a very long and checkered history. Just now, Amay has said Gomantak. In fact, Aryans who first came and settled on the bank of the river Gomati and Aganashini. In fact, we all belong to the Aryan race. Those two rivers today are Mandavi River and Aganashini. That is why Goa is often termed as Gomantak, as said by Amay Kunjavadkar. It has a very long and checkered history. I have done small research on this, not take much more time. First, we find the Kadambas who ruled Goa in the early century. That is why we find here Kadamba buses everywhere. Then we have the Bhojas. Then we have the Badamas, Vijayanagar. They also ruled Goa for some time. Even Adil Shahi also ruled Goa. If you go to Panjim, there is the Adil Shahi Palace, which was the earlier secretariat of Goa. Now it's a heritage. So it was ruled by Adil Shahi also. Finally, we find the Bahama Sultan conquered Goa and founded Old Goa in 1490. After that, we find the Portuguese commander Alfonso de Albuquerque conquered Goa in 1510. And from 1510 till 19 December 1961, Goa was ruled by Portuguese for nearly 451 years, more than the British ruling our country. There were many invaders who came to conquer Goa, and if Sambhaji Maharaj, the eldest son of Shivaji Maharaj, was successful in conquering Goa, then today you will have found a different history of Goa today. Portuguese rule was very oppressive, brutal. There was a ban on freedom of speech and expression. You cannot take a meeting like this during the Portuguese rule. And there were many revolts which have happened. My research studies show that the first person to revolt against the Portuguese rule was the local priest, Father Matthew de Castro from Diwar Island. After this, there were three prominent priests from Candolim who has revolted against the Portuguese rule. They are known in the history of Goa as revolts by Pinto. In 1787, then we have the famous revolts by Ranis of Satri, so close from here, which are very, very noteworthy. In this context, one should not forget the bravery and the courage of Dipaji Rani, who gave his heart and soul to defend the Nanus fort of Varpe. By 1822, these Ranis of Satari has revolted 14 times against the Portuguese rule and set up a very courageous and very such a history in the eyes of the whole world. However, I will give full credit of Goa freedom struggle to none other than the journalist, also called as the Mahatma Gandhi of Goa, T.B. Kunna. Dr. Tristão Braganza Kunna, born on 2nd April 1891 in a small village of Chandor. Chandor is in South Goa. There are two ways you can go from Madgaon to Savarde. One you can go by Kepe and other one you can go by Chandor. Chandor is the middle part between Margaon to Savarde. I have been to Chandor. I have seen T.B. Kunna's palatial house there. T.B. Kunna studied in Panji. Then he went to Pondicherry to do his BA. After that, he went to France to do his electrical engineering. So he was basically a journalist and an electrical engineer. When he came from France in 1926 to Goa, there was a mass uprising in India. The Indian national movement has spread in all parts of India under the spirited leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. This had a very deep impact on this Goan youth, and who decided that he will dedicate his life to the Goan freedom struggle. He formed the Goa Communist Committee in 1928 and affiliated to the Indian National Congress in 1938. He wrote firing and inspiring articles in the French newspapers. His two significant books written by him are 400 Years of Foreign Rule and Denationalization of Goa. Both these books he wrote in 1944. And in 1946, a big event happened in Goa. Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, as Amay has mentioned, has come to Goa to take rest in Chinchini, again in South Goa. But when he learned that there is a ban on the freedom of speech and expression in Goa, his democratic frame of mind revolted, and he gave an open challenge to the Portuguese rule, saying that, let me see, I will hold a meeting. And the day was 18 June. It is called as the Goa Revolutionary Day. If you go to Panjim, that is the street, 18 June Road. And the place was a small Maidan in Margaon, near the garden, behind the garden, in Margaon. Now it is very famous, called Lohia Maidan. The news spread like a wildfire. First time somebody is going to speak against the Portuguese rule. And first time there was so many people, the revolutionary all gathered. Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia gave a clarion call to the Goan youth with the tagline, "Look not at Delhi, not at UNO. Your freedom lies within you." After the event, all the organizers were put into jail. And T.B. Kunna was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment in Portugal. But the fire of freedom has already lit up, and there was no looking back from then. In 1954, Dr. T.B. Kunna came back to Goa from Portugal after his release. He formed a Goa Action Committee and also started a local newspaper called Free Azad Going, Free Goa. He started it. And when July 1954, Dadra and Nagar Haveli was liberated, there was a mass uprising in Goa. Then comes the day, 15th August 1955, Patradevi rally. Many satyagrahis all over India has come there to celebrate the Independence Day of India. They tried to enter Goa by Maharashtra border, Patradevi border. So there they were stopped by the Portuguese, and all those satyagrahis were unarmed. And the Portuguese opened fire on them, killing so many innocent people. Luckily, the foreign media was present at that time. They covered up, and it became a world news. Very sad day, on 29th September 1958, we find that T.B. Kunna died. So this Goan leader, who had the Goan identity, who always for the Goan identity, Goan liberation, could not see that Goa was liberated. It was difficult to have freedom struggle from Goa. So the base was from Belgaum, Karwar, Mumbai. From there, the freedom movement started. So many freedom fighters, I cannot take everybody's name, Purushottam Kakudkar, then Gurunath Kekar, then we have Bapu Gavas, then Menezes, so many of them. They tried their level best to liberate Goa, but not successful. Diplomatic ties started happening, but it was not happening. Portuguese were not ready to leave Goa. So finally, then Prime Minister of our country took a military action. The name was Operation Vijay. And on 18 December 1961, it started. And within 36 hours, Goa was liberated from the oppressive rule of the Portuguese. So, Goa has seen immense freedom struggle to liberate Goa from the Portuguese rule. That is why today's celebration day, 19 December 2022, time holds importance because it validates the struggle of the resident who protested day in and day out to liberate Goa from the Portuguese rule. Goa is said to be a miniature reflection of India's antiquity and diverse culture. It encompasses, like the rest of our country, tremendous sense of unity in diversity. Goa's inclusive and pluralistic society we are. It gives the constitution what our rights and duties. Please remember that after the liberation, Goa has set up new milestones. First state in India to have a common civil code. First state in India to have compulsory registration of births, deaths, and marriages. First state in India for 100% computerization of record. Again, I think it's the first state in India to have 2 international airports right now. Again, coming to education, first state in India who will be having 70% of the education coming under class 10. As the new education policy 2022-2023, we are going to have it. Again, coming to education, the first state to establish Goa State Research Foundation, which is on the line of proposed National Research Foundation at the national level. And to these young citizens of the country, with fire in your belly and stars in the eyes, it is a duty to keep this tricolor flag proud and unfettered in the democratic sky of this magnificent land. Finally, it is the education which binds the whole nation. Let's come together and contribute to the growth of education. Jai Hind, Jai Gomantak.
Thank you, sir. Our principal, Professor Dr. Gervasio SFL Mendes' words have always motivated us. So I would request Principal Sir to kindly enlighten us with his valuable thoughts.
The Vice Principal of the college, Professor Sonia, the NCC, ANC, Dr. Vanita, the coordinator of this whole entire function, Mr. Saish Goltekar, my colleagues, the administrative staff, the NCC unit, and my dear students. I'm extremely happy to address you on this day, a day on which every Goan should feel proud that way back in 1961, thanks to the effort and struggle of our freedom fighters, Goa was liberated. Today, we can proudly say Jai Hind. Prior to 19 December 1961, it was a crime. Today, we can breathe the fresh air of freedom, which was not possible for almost 450 years. And therefore, each Goan should feel proud that we have a Goa that has been given to us, a free Goa which has been given to us by our freedom fighters. As I look back and look at this college and a few competitions that have happened, I am proud to announce that Miss Neha Gawas has bagged a gold in the intercollegiate event in judo. Namdev Gaude has bagged a silver. Yashwant Chari has bagged a bronze. At the district level, up to the district level in the NCC, we have Bhumi, Akanksha and Akshata who have made the college proud by representing the college. In the inter-university competition, our student represented the Goa University, Yashwant Gaude in football, Smitesh in badminton, Vittal Raj in volleyball, and Rifa in badminton. We are extremely proud of these, our students. A few days back, our NSS unit completed successfully the NSS special camp, going to Thane village, where they did exemplary work. The college is proud of the NSS unit led by the program officers who had been with them and bringing out the leadership qualities among our students. In other intercollegiate competitions, our students have made us proud, and therefore this college would like to appreciate and place on record our sincere appreciation to all their efforts. Friends, I was saying, and Dr. Namdev has taken you through a journey of this whole freedom struggle, how it happened, which were the revolts that marks a watershed period in our freedom struggle. So it had not come at once. There were a lot of struggles, and the aggregation of these struggles today have made us what we are. I would like to pick up a few things that are relevant to us today. Dr. Namdev has touched upon two things. I'll repeat them, and I'll also tell you what are the other things that are in store for you, especially from the initiatives that have been taken by the Directorate of Higher Education, Government of Goa, under the able leadership of the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, who also happens to be the Education Minister of our state and who has education dear to his heart. On 15th, there was a meeting which was called by the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, and some of the decisions that will have a long-lasting impact on education, which will positively take us to add a new dimension to our education process are these. We are on the path of adopting the National Education Policy 2020. And as part of this, within a short period of time, colleges will be formed into clusters. So Government College Sanquelim will belong to a cluster of colleges. And therefore, the way we look at education will be quite different. At a time when we are looking at competition with our sister concerns and other colleges, it will be a time for us to collaborate, to bring in our expertise at the table, as well as learn from other institutions. That will be the new way of going forward. We need to mentally prepare ourselves for this cluster system of colleges which is going to come soon. All the higher education institutions in Goa will come under a single academic management system that will include the colleges, which will be clusters, as well as the Goa University. This will smoothen. In fact, Dr. Namdev was saying how computerization of records have happened. Today, it is computerization of our education processes which is going to happen. There will be a new structure of academic programs which will be implemented from the coming academic year. So it's not very far that we are going to have a new system, and for which we need to be flexible, we need to adapt ourselves to these new changes that are coming. For the students, there are two things in store for you. One is, especially when you apply for scholarship, you apply at various places. Sometimes there are delays. Henceforth, there will be a single scholarship portal on which you put your data and the process will start. That will be, I think, a very, very important step in ensuring that the scholarship assistance that you need to get will be timely as well as adequate. Similarly, the training, internship and placement portal will be a single portal. Now you must understand how training, internship and placement are so very important components of our education process. Gone are the days where a student used to pass out and we used to forget the student. Placement, internship and training, as in when you are in the education process, will be a part and parcel of this education process. I would request the student community to take full advantage of these processes which are favorable to all of you. The NAC accreditation process and the NAC accreditation will be mandatory for all the HEIs, higher educational institutions. As you all know, the college is on the path of going and submitting itself for the next accreditation cycle. I would like to take this opportunity, the teachers, the administrative staff, as well as our student community, that we all need to put our efforts towards getting ourselves prepared for the accreditation process, which will happen shortly. Yet another important thing which Dr. Namdeo has said, but I'll dwell on it a little more, is the establishment of the Goa State Research Foundation on the lines of the National Research Foundation, NRF. And I think this is a very strong step that the government of Goa has taken. I'm extremely happy that this foundation is under the chairmanship of Professor M.K. Janardhanam, retired professor, well known for his research, and he will be heading this. And I'm sure that partnering with the State Research Foundation will help us to leverage our research processes in the colleges, because education is not only teaching but it also research and extension. So these are the three aspects of education. I'm also happy, recently we had the Manohar Parrikar Vinyan Mahotsav, and I was very happy thanks to our teachers, the HODs, the NSS unit, Dr. Sufala, who was in charge of this program under the leadership of Professor Sonia. We had almost 350 students participating in this program, and we are already on the path of pursuing with these two eminent speakers who had come to this venue. This was one of the 7 venues that we had in Goa. This is again a very a flagship scheme of the government of Goa, where every year on 13 December we have the Manohar Parrikar Vinyan Mahotsav. This was the 4th edition, and we are going to have it every year, where students are exposed to new ideas in science. I was talking to one of the speakers, and we had an understanding saying that if today what can propel this country forward, it is our cutting edge research in science and technology. And that is where we need to really focus our mind, because only then we will be able to compete with the rest in the world. Today is also a day when we need to look at the challenges that we face. I would like to identify 3 challenges that we could work towards. The first one is the issue of the garbage. Today, waste disposal has become a big challenge, not just in the cities. Those of you who are in the villages would also know how important and how challenging that problem has become even in our villages. It was unheard of before. Everywhere you go, you have places which are littered with garbage. Our rivers with clear water are a thing of the past. They are littered with garbage. And therefore, I think as students, we need to take our step. Today, Goa requires freedom fighters, but freedom fighters who will take up these issues. The first one, as I said, is a garbage issue. And that happens, charity, they say, begins at home. What do we do with the chocolate wrappers that when we eat a chocolate? Do we just throw it down, thinking that one chocolate wrapper will not make a difference? If we are going to be sensitized towards this, then it has to start from us. Our college should be a place which is spick and span and very tidy and clean. That is a challenge that we need to do. And just not that, only then we will be able to understand the issue and then go inside, go into our villages, educate the masses, and make our villages livable, make our rivers what they were before. The second issue, my dear friends, is our reckless driving and riding. Open up newspapers and you will see how many accidents are taking place in our tiny state. The number of accidents, the percentage is very high if you compare us in terms of our geographical area to other states. What is the issue? Why is this happening? It's happening because we don't value our lives and we don't value somebody else's life. The day we realize that each life is valuable, that's the time we will realize that we need to have responsible riding and responsible driving. It doesn't make you a hero when you go at top speed, recklessly riding your bike and putting your life and the life of somebody else in danger. Whereas we need to make people aware that if you are a responsible rider, you are a hero. We need to change that mindset. Because we find that large number of our youth are falling victims to road accidents. Dr. Namdev has talked about Gurunath Kelkar, who founded the MARG. And that organization has been rendering yeoman service in this cause of safety on roads. If we need to carry, he was a freedom fighter, he had changed his journey from fighting there to fighting for people who are victims of road accidents. Shouldn't we be also a part of this? Shouldn't we be the freedom fighters of today, the modern freedom fighters of today, to fight this ill? I think the answer is with us. And the day we understand that this is our responsibility, I think we will go ahead. The third, my dear friends, and which sends jitters in my body, is the substance abuse that is becoming rampant. Our student rightly said how a bad image is being created of Goa. If Kinzavadekar has heard about it, I have heard about it so many times. Whenever I have been going, I did my PhD, I was on 1 year study leave in Dharwad, and people were asking me off from Goa, you don't drink? Why don't you get liquor from Goa? And when I say I don't drink, they are surprised. Because they feel that everyone has to, be a drunkard. We need to change that mindset. And the substance abuse is yet another manifestation of how our state is looked at. We need to change that. Gone are the days when we used to say substance abuse is only confined to cities. It has spread, and we need to nip this in the bud as far as our college is concerned. And I would like to enroll and solicit the cooperation and help of each and every member of our faculty and of each and every student of ours, that we need to be aware. There are large number of stories which talks about how people who are victims of substance abuse, how it can ruin their families. Should we be doing this, or should we go towards the path of development? And therefore, this gathering, I would like to make an appeal to you that you are our wealth. For an education system, our students are our central focus. If we lose you, we have lost everything. And therefore, my earnest appeal to all of you that we need to be aware and alert towards this social evil. And therefore, I'll sum up again what I have touched about. The challenges that are facing Goa today is the waste disposal, responsible disposal, not generating too much of waste, the accidents that happen on the roads, and the substance abuse that is threatening the future of our youth. And therefore, my dear friends, as we are here today, let us resolve as individuals that we will work with everyone, with like minded people, not just us. We have a society, the stakeholders in the society, our parents, the civil society in the village of Sanquelim, the government. All these agencies must come together and fight this evil on a common plank. I wish you once again a very, very happy Liberation Day. This is a time for us to celebrate our freedom, celebrate our diversity, and celebrate the dreams that each one of us have for ourselves, and celebrate the dreams that we have for our students, because you take away the students, the college is zero. You bring them back, you work towards them, and the college really can rise up. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Gomanta.
May I now request Principal Sir to kindly release the College Magazine Expression 2021-22.
We have our sub-editors and the editor. I'm extremely happy to release the college magazine 21-22. They can hold together. You all can hold.
The Department of History, in collaboration with NSS unit of college, had organized digital poster making competition on the occasion of Constitutional Day. I request Principal Sir to hand over the prizes to the winners. First place was bagged by Pranchi Halkarni. Second place by Kaushal Shirgavkar. Few months back, a book review competition was organized by the library department in which Miss Sakshi Degvekar secured first place. Congratulations to all the winners and participants. Everything that has a beginning also has an end. So I would request Ms. Apurva Karapurkar to propose vote of thanks.
I would like to thank the principal sir,
the faculty members and students present today. Special thanks to NCC cadets and Dr. Vanita ma'am. Once again, thank you everyone and have a great day.
Okay. Just an announcement. All the criterion heads after the refreshment, please assemble and meet the director IQAD in the IQAD room. All the criterion heads, please meet the vice principal, academics, and director IQAD in the IQAD room. Thank you.